Well, hello, welcome again to a reading through of Iliad book 9, and I got up to line 91. So in the story, Nestor has persuaded the son of Atreus, Agamemnon, to have a party or a feast for the old men to discuss the issues. And so in the previous bit, we've seen the son of Atreus led all together the old men of the Achaeans to his hut. He gathered them to his hut, and he placed before them a nourishing feast. Now we get two fairly stock lines in Homer now. You see these peppered throughout the Iliad. So hoi de ep aneath hetoima prokaimena kairos ialon. So, but they, Ialon, they put forward their hands to, this is third declension noun, this is a tor here, and alpha's elided, it's a neuter now. And it's connected with oninami, to do benefit to, so it means food, but often translated victuals. So they put their hands to the victuals that were ready, lying before them, so that were lying before them prepared. So we might say they put their hands forward to the victuals that were prepared, ready for them. And then the second line also is a stock line, alter, but when. Now the X goes with the hento, this is from hiami. It can mean to relax or let go of their desire. So we might say satisfied. So when they had satisfied their desire, and these are genitives for drink and food. This is from posis, connected. It's from the same root as pino, to drink, and food is the ed root, which is cognate with our word eat. Tois hot geron, to the old man Nestor, Pam protos, he first of all began, who finein, literally to weave a matis, to weave a plan. Nestor, of whom, so whose counsel even previously used to appear the best. So his counsel used to appear the best. He, it's thinking well, he spoke to them, so he really wanting the best for them, so thinking the best things, he addressed them and spoke. Atreide kudisti anaxandron Agamemnon. Lots of alphas in this line. You can imagine that the bard would have spoken it very slowly and majestically. So, most glorious son of Atreus, Lord Agamemnon, Lord of men. That's the vocative there for Agamemnon. This is a very interesting line here. Ensoi min lexo, from lego to cease. Seo de arxamai. Very interesting line because it's remarkably similar to the invocations used in hymns to gods and goddesses. Theocritus uses the same trope in his Idyll 17, which is an encomium on King Ptolemy, where he says, Ekdios archomes the kaios dia legete moisai athanaton ton arista. So we make a beginning from Zeus, and you, O Muses, cease with Zeus, the greatest of the immortals. Here we have it referring to Agamemnon. So on the one hand, I will cease with you, but I will make a beginning of you. Because, Hunica for hoti, Essi for A, you are Lord of many hosts, of many people, and Zeus, euangelizde, you can see the engus root here, has brought near to you, in other words, he's given to you the scepter, and teadi, the themistas. Interesting word. One translates it as established procedures. There's no written laws mentioned in Homer. So in the sense of nomoi, well, there are customs, I suppose. You do get nomos in that sense, but the themistas, these are the procedures that are acceptable to the gods. So Zeus has brought near to you the scepter and perhaps the holy laws, in order that you might give counsel to them, that is, to the people. It must be referring back to the on the previous line. To secrate peri, notice the accent on peri, so it's adverbial here. To, fairly common, it means therefore. It is necessary for you, on the one hand, vasthai, to speak, and the peri for perissos, exceedingly or perhaps more than anyone else. So it is necessary for you, therefore, to speak more than anyone else, and to speak a word more than anyone else, and also ep akusai, to listen. Kraenai, and this is an infinitive. It's from cry ino, alpha iota, repeated, which is a lengthened form of crino, to fulfill, and the alpha iota gets contracted down to an eta in both places in the verb here. It's an aorist infinitive. So to fulfill, and to fulfill even for another, even for someone else, whenever his soul might bid, from an anoga, might bid someone to speak as agathon for the good. Sio de hexatai hoti kai arche. So whatever thing he might begin, literally it will be held by you, which is a fancy way of saying whatever he initiates, it will be attributed to you. Fagles, I think, has here something like credit will go to you for whatever he proposes, because you're the king. Ata, but I will speak as it seems to me to be the best. This is adverbial here. So, but I will speak as it seems to me to be the best. Remember, this is the aged Nestor here. He loves to speak and he loves to go on a bit. So he says, Uga tis not on alos ame nona tudi no ase. Hoionego notio. Amen palai a eti kai nun. For no one else will, well, perhaps devise, so will think up, will dream up a better thought, so a better plan, and then a genitive of comparison after emamona, than this one. This one, such as I am thinking. So no one will dream up a better plan than this one, the one which I have in mind. Either, now amen and a de, either in the past or still even now. In other words, I'm the best at making up plans. Ex eti tu hote Diogenes, and now he is going to be very careful what he says. It says, so since the time when, yeah, you've got to understand chrono or something here. Since, so even from the time when, you who are not born from, descended from Zeus, the time when you went from Bino up Urais, having removed the girl Briseis from the hut, Clisiathen, and I think we're meant to take this as a genitive after that. So when you went, having removed, perhaps removing, it's an aorist here, so having removed the girl Briseis from the hut of Achilles, who was angry. Uti kathemeteron genoon, not in any way, in fact, according to our mind, in other words, against my advice. So you did this against my advice. Malagatoi egoge, for I, in fact, very much, I've got to keep that in mind, so malagatoi egoge, so I very much, pola is adverbial, muchly, apamuthiaman, I spoke against it. So I very strongly spoke against it many times. But you, Aixas, this is from aiko, to yield, having yielded in, well, perhaps in your great-hearted, thumos could be here spirit, could translate it as anger, in your great-hearted anger and your great-hearted spirit, you having yielded to that, and you've got to go down to here, atimesas, you dishonoured the man, that greatest man. This is a superlative, pheriston, greatest or best, mighty. So you dishonoured that mighty man whom, and the pair is emphatic here, whom the immortals indeed honoured. So even the immortals honoured him. For having taken, this is the root hell from Hyrio, having taken her, you hang on to, you have, so you hang on to his geras, his prize. Al etikai nun fradzometh hos ken min aresamenoi pepithomen. But still even now, let us devise, it's a subjunctive here, hortatory subjunctive, so let us think about, let us devise a way how aresamenoi, it's an aorist here, it's from aresko, if you're looking it up. Aresko in later Greek normally means to do, to please somebody, often takes dative, but in Homer it can also mean to make amends at this point, I think, aresko. So, so let us now still, but still even now, let us devise how, having made amends, we might persuade him, and this is a reduplicated aorist, despite the reduplication. It is actually what's called a reduplicated aorist. It's using the pith root from patho, and it's a hortatory, it's a subjunctive after the hos, how with the ken, and it's a reduplicated aorist. These are fairly common in Homer. You don't get them in later Greek, but you do get them commonly in Homer. So let us so even still now, let us work out how, having made amends, we might persuade him, and we get te and te, so both with agonos generally means gentle, so literally it's with gentle gifts, some translate here kindly gifts, and with honeyed words, dative plural from epos. So this is the next section. This is the Nestor here, as we see, urges Agamemnon to conciliate Achilles. And in the next section we'll see that Agamemnon agrees to make amends. But as we know, it's sadly too late.